Hello, this is NameOfAdam, and this is going to be a solo playthrough of probably my favorite solo-only board game, which is Under Falling Skies. It's basically just Space Invaders, albeit in board game form, and it has an incredible depth while still being very easy to learn and pick up and play. So I hope you enjoy this. This is my first time trying a difficulty that is above the standard difficulty, and that is determined by how many of these, I guess I'll call them space tiles, you flip over to this more ominous looking side. If I can get that close up, the glare might ruin it, might keep you from seeing it, but some of these tiles, two of these tiles they basically look like they have damage on them. That's the harder side. On the other side, there's the regular standard side. If you notice, some of my tiles are plain looking, where it looks corroded and damaged on the other ones. So I flipped over two of them. One of them flipped over is a normal difficulty game. None of them flipped over is easy. Obviously, I've also played and beaten that. I've beaten normal. Now I'm trying something that's a little bit harder than normal with two tiles flipped over. Wish me luck. You might see this end quicker than it normally would, because this is definitely going to be a harder game than the ones I've played in the past. And I've also never tried New York. You have 3 cities. I'm not sure if this game has any expansions, but you have 3 cities. You start usually with Roswell. You also have Washington, D.C., which I played. I've never played New York. And each city, except for Roswell, has their own special power. In the case of New York, it says that we can only have one robot, which is represented by these blue dice. And you can use them in addition to your other dice that you're placing to power rooms and get things like power and, to actually build other robots and to drive research and stuff like that. So New York's power, of course, is that the value of the room that you place your robot in, be it a research room or a power room or something else, is always raised by 1. But you can only have 1 robot. And what you're doing in this game is basically just you're rolling dice, and you're placing the dice that you roll at the amounts that you rolled them in certain rooms. And there's several different kinds of rooms. There's these anti-aircraft rooms right here in the gray. They scare the enemy ships up here at the top and cause them to move less, 1 space less than the amount of the die. As you see, there's a -1 in those rooms. There is also of course, robot rooms. Those are the blue rooms. Those are for building robots to add in addition to your other dice to drive actions in addition to them. There's fight rooms. I'm going to call them fight rooms. You probably also call them aircraft rooms, and these deploy aircraft to blast enemies that are on explosions spaces with values equal to or less than the value of the room, which is going to be the value of the die plus, in addition to any plus or minus amounts. As you see, some rooms have plus or minus amounts. And there's also power rooms, the ones with the lightning bolt symbols, obviously, and they add power, represented by this tracker, in the amount of your die, again, in addition to any modifying amounts. And of course, there's also research rooms, which are the green rooms here. Research is monitored by the green token, and you actually win the game by moving that token from here all the way up here to the top. And these numbers represent the amount of the room or rooms that you're using to conduct research that they have to be for you to move up. So to move up to this next one, again, the glare is trying to mess me up. you need an amount of at least 2. Say if I rolled a 6, I could move all the way up to this 1 here, because in total these are 6. And so I would go up to 2, then to 3, then to 1. But I would not with a single dice. And if you look here, there are research in other rooms that allow you to place several dice in place. With a single die, I cannot do more than 6, but at the very top here we have one that says 12. To win the game, I need to use one of these multi-rooms. Either that or 2 research rooms. I forget the rules on that. I'm not sure if you can use 2 different research rooms. I think you can, but you'd either need to do that or you would need to preferably use a multi-tiered research room to place 2 dice. So you place 2 6 dice, or I've seen some that have 3 tiered, 3-sectioned research and other kinds of rooms. I don't have any 3-sectioned rooms for New York because it uses panels C and A for the excavation site. This is our excavation site, and right now you see here my excavator is here. You can spend 1 energy by moving this track down, or I should say up, to move this, and by placing a die beyond it with a value on its face equal to or less than the spaces in front of the excavator. So say if I had a 4, a die of 4, I can place it here, and that would move the excavator 4 spaces forward. I could also place a 5 or a 6 there. You know, it depends on where I want to place that die, but I cannot say I put a 3 in that position that I have that 4 in. I could not do that. That's illegal. And what happens when I place my die is it does all these actions, and it also causes each of these ships up top to move down spaces at the number of spaces of each die in each column. I got to place a die in each column. I have 5 worker die. I have to place all of those worker die in each column. The robot die, the yellow dice here have nothing to do with that. And I keep conflating and confusing die and dice. You know what I mean. Die is singular, dice is often used plural. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. This is something I highly recommend. And you always start, of course, by rolling your dice. That seems like kind of a crap roll, but I think 4 is a respectable number to start with. What are we going to do with 4? Let me see. If I get this guy to move forward 4, that doesn't really do anything. I can get the middle one onto an explosion space. Let me see. If I do I want to do that? Yes, I don't mind doing that. I'm going to do that, and immediately he moves down, and I'm knocking things all over the place. Immediately, that ship moves down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice he's on what's called an explosion space with a value of 3. That means if I put something in this, if I put a die in this fighter jet room that is 3 or more at the room phase, which is after this phase, it will get shot down. Now, purple ships just spawn back to the mothership, which is all the way up top. These white ships here that spawn when the mothership descends to one of these white ship spaces, they actually go away completely. They're removed from the board completely when you shoot them down. So you have 3 phases. We have the dice placement phase. I just placed my first die. Then you have the room phase, where you reconcile all of the room effects, the power shifts and the research track and the attacks and all that. And then you have the mothership phase where you move the mothership 1 down and you spawn any ships that are here at the top of this mothership. They will spawn back into one of these spawn positions that you see these other ships in. And they're going to be in that position if, one, I hit one of these white ship modifiers. That means that a white ship spawns in. It's going to spawn into one of those positions if that happens, if and when that happens. And if it's a red ship, now the red ship, the reason the red ship would be there is if it was one shot down by me from placing it in an from getting it to move onto an explosion space and then placing a dice of equal or greater value relative to the value of the explosion space. Or if it descends all the way down here to the very, past this very lowest point right here, to where it says New York, if it reaches the city, then of course I take 1 damage, which is represented by this track. I would just move this down, which means I have lost 1 HP, if you will, and then it spawns back, and it will return to the mothership, and it will spawn into these positions after I move the mothership 1 space down. And when that happens, we reconcile these effects on the side of the board. The first thing that's going to happen when this mothership moves down is that it's going to cause my excavator to move back. So let's go ahead and keep it moving. And the cool thing about white die, and let me see here, is that when you place them, you get to re-roll your other dice. So I'm going to place this here, and notice that, remember what I said before, it causes the ship to move 1 less than it normally would. So I wanted to do that to get that onto that explosion space up top there. It has a value of 1. I don't think you can see that on camera, but it has a value of 1. And that means that I can re-roll this admittedly pretty crappy set of dice values. That wasn't too great either, but that's fine. I seem to be having bad luck now. This isn't great. Last night I was getting some great values. Of course, the higher is not always better in this game, I will say. So let me see here. I want another re-roll pretty quickly, so I'm going to go ahead and place my white die. And let me see here. What if I get one of these guys? Yeah, I'm going to place... I can't do that. I can't place it here because the value's not high enough. If I place it here, it's going to move down 2. It's not going to go to that explosion space. It doesn't really mean much, but I'm actually going to place it... Yeah, I'm going to place it here so I can get 7 power in the room phase altogether. And this will go down 3. 1, 2, 3. This is going to be a pain trying to keep everything straight. If I had really bad OCD, this game would really mess me up because it's kind of hard to keep everything straight, especially on this, not so great table. It's just what I have to work with right now. Okay, and that means I re-roll my die. I kind of want to put this phone down. I'm going to do that. I usually roll with 2 hands, and then I will get back to you. I think that was better. I think that was better. A 1, which means I can prevent a ship from moving at all by placing it in one of the anti-aircraft room, because remember, they move, the ships in that column move 1 less than the value of the die, which means I can stop a ship dead in its tracks. That's very useful. So 1s are actually good in this game, depending on how you use them. And I also have a 6, which means a high-value room. Let me see. Where do I want to place my 6? Okay. Well, I really have 2 places. I can place it at the very end, or I can place it here and move my excavator forward if I want. That might be desirable. I already have enough power though from this. I'm going to be gaining quite a bit of power from this room anyways. Or I can place it here and make a robot. I could actually technically, because the value is 6, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces, I could actually put it here. Actually, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not going to be able to destroy that ship, but I think I don't think that that's a terrible idea. Because I'll be able to shoot down 2 ships. 1, 2, 3, 4. Damn it. 5, 6. Okay. And we have 1, and then we're going to stop this guy dead in his tracks. Okay. Okay, so now we're at the room phase where we reconcile room effects. And I'm not sure what the creator of this game, like when exactly he wants you to move the excavator. I'm going to just set it right above the die here to represent that it's going in that place as soon as I remove that, which is, you do it, as far as I understand it, you typically reconcile effects from left to right. So this is going to, notice that -1 on this room. That means that this, this being in a fight room, an aircraft fight room, is going to destroy any ships, or rather shoot down any ships. It's not going to destroy them. It's going to shoot down any ships that are in explosion spaces of a value that is equal or lesser than 5, because the value of the die is 6, and it has a -1 modifier, which means it drops that value down 1, which would be, of course, 5 if you're a math whiz. So let's go ahead and reconcile that effect. And you always remove the dice when you reconcile it. This is where our excavator now goes. And we have 1 on a 1 value explosion space, and we have 1 on a 3. That means these go back up here. These go back up here to spawn during the mothership phase. Okay, and when you place something in the anti-aircraft rooms, they do not have an effect during the rooms phase. You just remove them. Okay, and then now we have a value of 7 in this power room. So that means we move our power token down 7 spaces. 1, 2. That is so annoying. 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's as far as we can go. The most you can have, at least in this setup, is 8. I believe that's the most you ever get. I'm not sure if this game has any expansions. I feel like it should. I hear about it all the time. But okay, so I'm up to max power now. We're going to remove those dice, and this is in an anti-aircraft room, so nothing happens here. And what do we do next? We move our mothership down 1 spot. This is kind of a pain with one hand. Okay, and remember that effect. It moves this excavator back 1, which is to this room, to this robot room here. Okay, and that's it. That was the first round, and now we're in the second round, and it just starts over like before. We just kind of doing the same thing. We're back in the dice phase. Okay, that was a good roll. That was a good one. Okay, so I usually start with my higher valued dice. It's not necessarily better or worse to do that. It's just a personal thing, I guess. And where am I going to place this? You win the game with research. And I definitely want to move this forward. I could put the die here, and I would just have to pay 2 power, which I have plenty of power, and I could go up 7, which means that I could go up, I don't really need that. I really only need 6, because I can do 2, 3, 1 with 6. That's 6, but then I need 3, so I would actually need a research room value of 9, which would require a two a two-tiered room, or something that has enough of an additional value to bring that number up to that, which I don't have access to that yet. So, or I can set it here, and I can move all the way up to that one position, and I can move the excavator up a little bit farther. I can set it yet farther over here, and it's the same effect as the last room that I mentioned. Yeah, I think I am going to, and let me look. Oh, I forgot something. When I moved the mothership, I forgot to spawn my ships in. Okay, so when you move your mothership, excuse me that, you make sure that you spawn your ships in these pale spawn positions that you see here, and that you saw where you saw my ships were at the beginning. And you always favor the places where there are no ships, the columns where there are no ships. There's no ship there, and there's no ship there, so we'll put the ships in those positions. And if I am going to place this 6 die here, that means that this guy moves down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And then, so we're going to try another one. Do I go for a white die so I can re-roll? I actually kind of like these numbers, so I don't want to re-roll just yet. I'm going to go down 1 to 5, and I'm going to place 5 in, let me see here. I don't think I quite need energy yet. Let me see. I don't think I want to place it here. Nothing is really jumping out at me as something I want to place a 5 in, honestly. Again, I don't know the rules if I am allowed to place another dice on another research track. In fact, I am going to look that up to see if I can move up yet farther during the rooms phase in the research track. Remember, I'm still somewhat new to this game, and actually I'm somewhat new to board games in general, especially of this caliber. Okay. I don't think you can, because at the end of the first game, you have to move up to a space that says 11, and it says the only way to get to the space marked 11 is to use a multi-space research. Well, actually, no, that doesn't mean that you wouldn't be able to use it. Only a single room advances your research track forward. That doesn't mean that you can't piggyback another one on it, but you can't tether the amounts together. Say if I couldn't use a room with 6 and then another room with 6 to get the research track up to 12. So that doesn't really tell me that. If someone knows that you can't do this, please forgive me and please show me. But in the meantime, I am actually going to piggyback, not the amounts. Like, I'm not going to act like they're one room together, but I am going to try to do a little bit more research. Actually, no, I cannot do that because that is actually ahead of the excavator. So I absolutely cannot do that. I actually do not like 5 here. I'm going to, what do I want to keep from moving? I don't think there's anything I necessarily need to keep from moving. It is good to keep ships from moving though, even just generically speaking, because you will not sustain damage if you keep the ships from moving past a certain point. So I actually do want to re-roll, and I'm not liking my options with 5. How about 3? Actually, yes. If I put 3 here, this will move down 2 spaces to that explosion space mark 2. That's probably hard to see, but it's that the far right ship is on an explosion space mark 2. Okay, and let me see here. And I am noticing that notice that when the mothership moves, it's going to spawn 2 white ships, according to that. That does not happen if I advance the mothership by moving one of the enemy ships to this mothership icon. These effects mean absolutely nothing outside of the mothership phase. So what I am going to do is I'm going to put, and I think I'm going to try installing a robot somewhere. Remember, my robots, well, I can only have one. The value of the room goes up 1. So I'm going to install a robot here. I believe the robot is installed in the rooms phase. And that, oh, no, I am not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I just completely disregard, it's like I was completely disregarding what I just said. I want it to move 4, I want this to move 4 rather than 5. So I'm putting it in the anti-aircraft room. So it was 4 spaces. And that advances this down here so that when the mothership moves during the mothership phase, it just sends my excavator back 2 spaces. It doesn't spawn 2 freaking white ships in addition to the ships that are already here. I don't want that. So that's why I did that. Okay, and let me see here. I'm not really feeling 5 too much. What do I want to keep? You know, I'm going to keep. No, I need this for the to attack the other ships. And actually, 5 isn't a bad value for that. In fact, it's a wonderful value because it'll move that ship to an explosion space. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and set this here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is awesome. And then I'm going to keep, I don't really need power. So I'm going to keep this ship by placing a 1 in the anti-aircraft room. Remember, if I place something in the anti-aircraft room, you're probably tired of hearing me say that. I'm going to stop saying it after this. The ship in the corresponding column moves 1 less than the value of the die. So it's not going to move any. It's not going to move any at all, which generally is a good thing. Okay. We took care of that, and let's reconcile the room effect. So here, no effect because we put it in the anti-aircraft room. Here, this is going to shoot down. Oh, I'm going to have to pay 3 power. So we move our power tracker up to 3 less from 8 to 7, 6, 5. And it shoots down everything on a space and on an explosion space of a value of 5 or less. So we have 1 on a 5. I'm sorry, 1 on a 3 and 1 on a 2. They both get gunned down, and they go back to the mothership to spawn later. Okay. And let me see here. Okay, so we remove that dice. Then we move our research track up 3. So it goes up in an increment of 2, which leaves us with 4 left, then 3. The glare is really messing that up on this camera. And then 1 for a total of 6. And like I said before, and I'm going to try to not repeat this, that's how you win the game, by getting that research track all the way up to the top, because then you know how to beat the aliens. Okay, so that gets removed. These two just get removed with no effect because they already exhibited their effect in the dice phase. Okay, and then we have the mothership phase, which, I forgot, I'm going to have to move this over here. And then I'm going to move this mothership down 1 like this, like so. And what happens when it pushes into another ship? Well, that means it goes back to the top to respawn again later. And that means also that I have to move, see the excavator with the -2? That means I move my excavator -2 spaces, well, 2 spaces back. 1, and I hate doing this through the camera, 2. And that is fine. I am fine with that. And then they all respawn. Remember, we favor positions where there are no other ships. In the case that you do have a ship in one of the columns that you need to spawn another ship, you favor the positions where the ship is farthest down the column. Okay, so the mothership phase is over, and we're going to start another round. I don't think that's terrible. Okay, do I want to go ahead and re-roll by placing that 6? Let me see here. Because the other ones, I mean, it's not a clear and dry case of, oh, lower values are better or worse, but this, I mean, there isn't much variety here. I think what you generally want is variety. This is 2s and 3s, so I don't think this is the best roll. But let me see here. I can actually put this as far down as here. That's 6 spaces down, and that will cause the research track to go up 7, and that will allow me to ascend to that 1 right down and to the left of the leftmost ship. That would be some good progress. So that's where I'm going to put it, and I'm going to move this ship 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And let me see. Oh, since we did that, we got to re-roll. Yeah, I don't feel much better about that, but we will place a 5, I think. Let me see. If I place... If I place a 5 here, that causes this to move 4 spaces down. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that means it's on an explosion space of a value of 2. And then, is there anything I want to keep from moving? Is there anything on an explosion space? Other than the one that I just moved, which means I can't place a die there? No. So I don't think I want to re-roll, so I'm going to go ahead and place this, and I don't think I want that leftmost ship going down any further. Or wait a minute. If I could get a 3, that would be great. Now I'm just going to try to keep him from moving now, and that means I re-roll these die. Okay, so I got a 6 and a 4. What are we going to do with this 6? Okay, so I am going to place... I'm not liking my options too much here. If I place it, let me see. I could cause it to, I could place it here and cause the ship up above to navigate to that space, but I would need a 6, which I don't have, and I can't re-roll to destroy it. So there's really no point in that. I'm going to put it on this fighter position, and it's going to go down a full 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then, let me see. I made a terrible, dumb mistake. I cannot do that. In fact, I cannot attack anything right now. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to generate some more power. I'm going to go... Six, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to go 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That, and if you notice, there was a, you probably didn't, I don't think I had my camera aimed at it. It has a arrow pointing to the left. That means it moves left. Okay. So whenever I place a dice in that column, both of those ships will move until and unless one of them moves to another column. Okay, so we have finished the dice phase, and let's resolve. Nothing. 7, so 3 plus 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7. Yeah, I said earlier that would go to the 1. No, it wouldn't. You'll have to bear with me. I'm kind of tired. I've been up and at it for a while today. All right, but I made some decent progress up that research track, which is uber important. Remove that. Then, I forgot I was supposed to spend 1 power, but that's okay because I am gaining 10 power. I would if I could. I'm not gaining 10 power. I'm going all the way up to the top, or I should say the bottom. It's the top of the amount of power that I can have at 8 power, and then no effect. Then the mothership moves down, and there's nothing to spawn. Unfortunately, if you look here, it looks like almost like an explosion or something symbolizing impact, which it in fact does. This is my health tracker. Notice the same symbol there. That means I take damage. So I move the health tracker from its starting point down 1 point. And unfortunately, in this game, as it stands, again, I'm not aware of any expansions. I don't think there's a way to heal. You just got to get to the top of that research track before that mothership gets down here, or before you lose all of your health. And once the mothership, I should explain, gets down here, game over. Or once you lose all your health, game over. Okay. So let me see here. So we reconciled that. So we're starting another round. Okay. This isn't great, but it isn't terrible either. So I'm going to go ahead with 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I know that we got to think this through. Yeah, if I put this here, no. I really only want this moving 1. Or not at all. I'm going to put... I don't like that for that. Let me see. Is there anything I don't want to move? Oh yeah, there is something I don't want to freaking move. I do have some 7 explosion spaces coming up there, so that would, well, I can't use that anyways because it's ahead of the excavator. You can only place 1 die ahead of the excavator. I do not want this ship that's on the explosion space of 2 to move. So I am going to put that there in the anti-aircraft space, and it's not going to be able to move. Okay. And that means I re-roll all of my die. It wasn't the best roll in the world, so wonderful. Okay. I feel like that's better. Okay. If I put... I thought I had a 2. I thought I saw a 2. Damn it. Okay. I'm putting this here, which means I get a robot of the value 0, which means I don't get a robot, just to move this to this explosion space, because I'm going to put a 6 on this fight room, and it has a -1 modifier, so it's going to shoot down anything 5 or below. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we have 2 fixing to cause me damage. Okay, and let me see here. And I am going to want... I was going to put it here to gain research. That will cause me to suffer damage. And the extra point is useless because the next research value up, if you look over here after 4, is 7. So that extra point is not going to be able to move me up. In fact, I would need a multi-sectioned research room, which I haven't unearthed yet. So I am going to actually place this here. Remember, one of those the ship that was in that column moved over, so there's nothing in the column. I can put this here. I can put this here completely consequence-free, ship-wise. Nothing moves, nothing changes there. And then I re-roll this 3, and let's see what I can get. I'm going to have to place it. Okay, I have a 2. So if I, if I place it, if I place it here, no. Well, it's going to go in the top ship in that column is going to go in an explosion space, but it's not going to die because the value of my fight room is only 5. I don't see that as too big of a deal, but I'd like to get some better use out of it. I can't really do much of anything. I could put it in the research room, but that would do nothing for me because in addition to what I already have, I mean, it would move me up. It could just move me up to the next space. I already have another research. I'm not going to get a better. It's not going to. My research track isn't going to move up any farther, other than it would be with the 1/4 die that I have placed. So that seems kind of pointless. I am going to put it here because I'm still limiting movement, which is still a good idea for both these ships. 1 and 1. Okay. So now we reconcile our room. So the first thing we do, because this is a fight room, we shoot down everything with a value of 6 minus 1 or 5. That doesn't work for that. That does work for this ship. And that does work for this ship. Okay. And then we do not get a robot because 1 minus 1 is 0. That means that robot is useless, dead, gone. Get nothing. We get nothing for the anti-aircraft room. We move up 4. So 1 and 3. This glare makes for horrible board visibility, and I apologize for that. And I'm going to try to get done before I have to start another video. Okay. Then we remove this die, and then we remove this die. And oh yeah, we got to remove our excavator down to where we had the die on the research track. Okay, so now we got to move the mothership. Unfortunately, the moment that I feared would come has come, and that's a white ship icon. That means that we spawn one of these bastards. And when that happens, when it's time for them to set into their spawn point, they always go after the purple ships. So the purple ships spawn into spaces favoring empty columns. So I can place this next ship in either of these two columns. I'm going to place it here, and then I'm going to place my white ship here. And the cool thing I will say about the white ships is that if I shoot them down, they leave the board, period. Okay. Okay, so we got 2 5s. That's pretty cool. Let me see here. If I place this here, this guy moves down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to an explosion space of 4. I need to move that research track way up. This is going to cause me to take damage, but I think I'm going to bite the bullet. Oh, and I didn't pay my 1 energy yesterday. Again, excuse me, I was tired yesterday, last round. Okay, so I am going to put this here. That's a value of 6. That's not enough to move me, but that is fine because I'm going to place, and again, that causes me to take damage. 1, 2, it reaches the city, and I take 1 damage. That means it spawns back here, and there's 2 in this column because 1 moved. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I can't mess around too much, but this had a value of 4. Again, I don't, as far as I know, this is okay. This is okay with the rules. 1, 2, 3, 4. And nothing happens there in that space. And then, let me see here. I would probably want to re-roll. Let me see here. This will at least get me 1 power. And it'll let me re-roll, and it'll move this white ship to an explosion space. So it will get shot down. It will be removed from the board. And then we re-roll this 2. 3. Okay. You know, I'm going to have to take damage because the only place I can put this has a ship right at the bottom. So what are we going to do? I think the only thing it makes much sense to do, I'm not sure a robot with a value of 2, and now we add it, so it'd be a robot with a value of 3, is really of much use to me. So I'm going to put this here, even though it doesn't really do anything. And I'm going to take the damage. There, I moved it down. And this is going to go back to the mothership. And now we're going to reconcile our effects. So, of course, this is nothing. This is 5. We spend 3 power. I hate doing this through a camera. I spent 3 power, and that means we shoot down everything on an explosion space. You already know what happens. This goes back to the mothership, and like I said, the white ship goes away. Bye. And then we get Yeah, I didn't think that through. I don't know what the heck I am smoking. I must need to get more sleep because that's not going to do anything. You need to be, I need to get to a multi room. So I'm probably going to lose this game because I need you can't piggyback the amounts of 2 different rooms. Like I can't say, okay, as far as I know, if I'm wrong about this, please let me know. But as far as I know, you cannot do that. I can't say, okay, so this is a value of 9 plus 1, so that's 10. So I can move this up to that 1 over there. No, I can't as far as I understand it. I cannot do that. So that was completely useless. That was a complete waste. I apologize for how tired I am. I do get 1 power, though. We just remove all this crap. Let me move this rule book out of the way. And then we move our mothership down, which means we move our excavator back 1. Not really a big deal. And we spawn our purple ships in. Again, I hate doing this like this. At least, yeah, whatever. Okay, let's just get moving. We're almost out of time. Okay, I got 2 6s here. So where do we want to put this? The 6 is good for moving things forward. Of course, I will take damage if I put the 6 here. That does give me an attack value of 7, though, because it has a +1 modifier. Wow, this is a hard setup because I need this space, which is almost dead at the bottom, to move that track any forward because I need a value of 7. I'm going to do it. I'm probably going to lose this game. I'm going to do it. Bear in mind, this is my first time at any difficulty above normal, and I'm also new to modern board games. But okay, so 1, 2, 3. Doesn't even make it to the full 6. Spawns back. I take damage. I am almost dead. So you're going to get to watch me lose my first game of Under Falling Skies. I've won every other game. Believe it or not, as badly as I've screwed up this game, I have won every other game of Under Falling Skies that I've played. All right, so what am I going to do with this other 6? I kind of want to re-roll my... Or wait, let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? I actually do kind of want to advance this 1 to the left forward so I can advance the ship. Why do I want to do that? Because the next space is you lose progress on your research track. I'm probably not going to win anyways. It probably doesn't matter. But I'm going to build a robot with this robot room with a value of 3. So I'm going to, and that's mainly just to move this 4 down. 1, 2, 3, 4. That means this moves forward prematurely. But this effect, it doesn't happen because those effects only occur during the mothership phase. We're not at the mothership phase yet. Thank the Lord. Okay. And so we can't roll yet. I am going to put this in this space right here to be able to re-roll 1 and 2 to move this down 2 spaces. I'm sorry, 3. What am I smoking? What am I smoking? I think it was it here? Was it here in the spawn position? Or was it? I thought I saw it. I think it was actually in the spawn point. So that is not going to help me at 3. Do I want to keep anything from moving? I'm going to keep this guy up top here from moving. Where am I going to play my 3? I'm going to place this in the attack room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It moves over to the right because of that stupid arrow. That's fine. And I'm missing something in here. Oh yeah, that means I re-roll. Give me something good because then I can do some research. No, I can't. No, I can't because I need the multi-tracker. 6. That would be wonderful if I had access to the multi-track room and I already had another die in it. Now it doesn't really mean much of anything. Yeah, this means absolutely nothing. I'm just going to try to forestall how far it moves by putting it in the anti-aircraft room. So it moves 5 instead of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it moves over here. That's kind of lame. I'm not sure I want that. No, that means I have a consequence. No, I won't have a consequence recall because I'm at the end of it. Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay, so let's resolve our effects. We get a robot die. In the value of the room. The robot die are these blue guys here. In the value of the room. I only have 2 minutes. It has a -1. It would normally be 2. It'd normally be a value of 2, but it actually is going to be a value of 3. I will represent that by changing the value to 4, and we turn them 45 degrees to represent that they're exhausted. You cannot use robot die the second you deploy them, and we can put it in any unexcavated room. I am going to put mine in this power room to generate 3 power over here. Okay, so this one will shoot down everything by paying 3 power. We're back to our original space of 2. It will shoot everything in on an explosion space 6 or less. I literally don't think I have a single thing on an explosion space, so that is useless. I thought I was going to be able to work this out better. And we've got to wrap this up. And this will shoot down everything on an explosion space of 7 or more, and it will move my excavator forward. That's at least good. Again, we don't have anything in explosion space, so it doesn't matter. I don't know where my head was during this game. Okay. And now we move our mothership down. There's no effects there. And then we spawn this ship. I'll just spawn it over here. Okay. We have 29 seconds. I probably will lose in about a minute or so. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to finish this game, but I am going to lose very shortly. I don't see the point of making another video where you just see me lose in 30 seconds. But there it is. Under Falling Skies, you just saw me play it terribly. Typically, I do a lot better. Thank you. Have a good night.